Jack the Ripper in movies and games, but his true identity remains a mystery. Known as a product of his time, many wonder who he was, why he targeted his victims, and whether he had any personal reasons for his gruesome acts. The killing spree began in 1888 in Whitechapel, East London, during the Industrial Revolution, a time of great social upheaval. The era saw many turning to crime, pickpocketing, or prostitution due to widespread poverty. While some had homes, many were forced to sleep on the streets. The first murder occurred on August 31, 1888, a bank holiday, when Polly Nichols, a 42-year-old alcoholic with 5 children, was brutally killed. Her throat was slashed, her abdomen mutilated, and she had stab wounds. Then, on September 8 in the same year, Annie Chapman was murdered in Hanbury Street. She was 45, separated from her family, and her body was found with severe mutilations and her intestines placed on her shoulders. So, from here the questions arises, who was behind these gruesome acts? The answer seems clear: Jack the Ripper. But who exactly was he? What is his true identity? Was he never arrested or even noticed by the police? He was never caught, but the murders eventually stopped. How? After the 8th of September, a double murder happened just after 28 days, on September 30, 1888. Involved Elizabeth Stride and Catherine Eddowes. Stride was killed with minimal mutilation, likely interrupted by a passing carriage. Eddowes, found within an hour, was severely mutilated with her entrails placed around her neck and her kidney mailed to the authorities. And the final and most horrific murder occurred on November 9, 1888, when 20-year-old Mary Kelly was killed and her body was severely mutilated, with parts of her body displayed on the bedside table. The investigation on this case was never stopped and TTE authorities only received a series of taunting notes from a person calling himself Jack the Ripper, purporting to be the murderer, and questions from the journalists. Strenuous and sometimes curious efforts were made to identify and trap the killer, but all to no avail. With the infamous "Dear Boss" letter, signed by Jack the Ripper, was sent to the Central News Office in late September 1888. Many believed it was written by a journalist, not the killer. Police thought the murders required the skill of a doctor or butcher. Although, Jack the Ripper was never caught and is believed to have stopped killing after November 1888. Despite not having the highest number of victims, his reign of terror has made him one of the most famous serial killers in history.